The role that I see this knife best fitting into, a duty knife, a cop's knife, something like that. If you're a cop, law enforcement, this would be a great knife for everyday carry. Hey guys, welcome back and thanks for tuning in to my review of the Benchmade Ambidextrous Push Button or APB Auto Knife. This is a new offering from Benchmade for 2015. It's been out on the market for a little while now. Saw it at SHOT Show, was really impressed, and they were generous enough to send me one to play with and review and beat up for you guys. We're going to give you all the information on this thing as far as specs, talk about the materials, talk about the role I see this knife fitting into pretty well. We're going to compare it to a few other autos as well as a few other knives that it competes against in that same role. And we're also going to show you some good footage of it in use. We might as well get to that and then we'll kind of talk about some of the uses and the design features and all that stuff as we go along. So talking about how it performed, the tests I like to put my knives through, my EDC knives through, start with paper cutting. Is it a good edge? Does it slice paper pretty well? In this case, yeah, I did a pretty good job. In turning the paper over and kind of switching to the other side and carving away at it for an extended period, yeah, I could see some of those paper fibers maybe getting stuck in the edge and kind of slowing it down as I was trying to have some quick and really clean cuts. So it got a little more coarse over time, but it still did pretty well. I would say that this does have Benchmade's somewhat obtuse edge on it. Not super fine. It's more meant for durability than really fine carving and cutting and all that kind of stuff. And that's okay. I mean, you don't get everything with every knife. And again, for the role that this knife is intended for, which we'll talk about in a little bit, I think that a fairly obtuse, fairly strong edge is going to be useful. Moved on to some cardboard, which it also slid through and slipped through and sliced through really nicely. Tore through that entire sheet, and it was just, I was really impressed. I mean, I've taken a lot of knives and sliced cardboard with them, and some of them drag a lot, and some of them get hung up for this reason or that reason. This one didn't seem to experience any of that. It just kind of tore through it, and that's what I want, okay? I want it to slip through that kind of material pretty easily, and the APB did not disappoint. APB 6800, by the way, is the model name. Carved into some wood as well, a little 2x4 that I'd been carving away at for a while, and got a nice hammer grip on the knife, on the handle, I should say, and then just kind of dug into that 2x4 for a while, carved away at that wood for a bit, and took off some really nice, clean, fast chips. I mean, just slipped through that, slid through it, sliced away at that chunk of wood for quite a while there. And I didn't really feel like it was causing me any kind of slowdown or any issues. It was just going, you know, just going. And that's a great thing. When I feel like I can tear into a piece of wood and I feel like the knife that I'm using to do that is up to the task, man, that's a good feeling. Let's talk about ergonomics from that experience. How did the knife handle and how did my hands react, I guess I should say. Well, we have a safety here on the back of the knife. If you press that up, then the knife will not fold, even if you attempt to depress the ambidextrous buttons there, the knife will not fold on you. That safety, you can see that it has got some knurling on top of it, which makes it great for pushing on and off with or without gloves. It's good for that, but if you've got your hand wrapped around the knife in kind of this sort of hammer grip, that is going to dig into the web of your hand, and it did that for me. So again, got some great work done. When it was all said and done, there was a little bit of wear marks on my hand for the moment, but it was fine. Overall, it's a nice beefy knife. It's got a great, the handle is 6061 T6 aluminum, which feels really good in hand. It's got these grooves cut out in there to give it a little more texture, a little more grip to it. It does have that sort of black anodized appearance to it, which is really nice. It's kind of flat, matte, and has a little bit of a texture to it. So it feels really good in hand, and again, doing that kind of hard work, you feel like you've got great control over it, and that's just a great thing for doing that type of work, doing any kind of hard or maybe dangerous work with a knife. It's really nice when you can really just hold on to that thing. I definitely like that. Other issues, none. I guess none really. I mean, if it weren't for that safety right there, I probably wouldn't have had any kind of marks on my hand at all, and I would have been able to carve away at that, I don't know, a long, long time. You can see there's some jimping on the blade, the top of the spine right there. It is kind of coarse, but effective in my estimation. You can see a little bit right there on the frame of the knife as well, the steel frame, which is also blackened, which kind of helps a little bit. So yeah, it's good. I'll take it when I can get it. We've got a little bit down here as well in what looks to be an aluminum cutout. Could be steel. I think that's aluminum though. The aluminum spacer right here laid in. You also see a nice glass breaker on there. Now, I've not really done any glass breaker tests with any knives up to this point. However, I've seen them in action. I'm pretty confident that that's going to work just fine. You need to get through a windshield or something like that. Wrap that sucker, probably have the safety on just for good measure. Wrap your hand around this sucker just like that. Thumb wraps comfortably around the top of it. And then just, you know, hammer, blow it, knock that window open. That should work just fine. So I see that being a pretty nice, effective glass breaker on there. Got a big lanyard hole as well, which is going to fit some 550 cord through it, no problem. So whatever you want to put through there is going to be good. The pocket clip, as you can see, is reversible to the other side. So it looks like that's going to take not just, appears to have 3 holes drilled there. So it looks like it'd probably take a variety of different Benchmade pocket clips. This one is that deep carry pocket clip, as you can see, which, as you can also see, has been bent out just a little bit from all the use I put it through. I've carried this quite a lot since I received it. Gave it a good long run for its money in EDC use and just carrying in all situations. So yeah, that did catch on something, maybe a seatbelt or something along the way, and got bent out just a little bit. Had to push it back. At some point, I'll take it off completely, bend it back properly. But I don't know if that's a weakness of the bent over deep carry pocket clip or not, or if that's just, you know, bad luck on my part. More likely bad luck on my part. But it looks like, you know, one of these other Benchmade pocket clips would possibly fit in the same holes. Maybe. I haven't tried it, but it seems like it probably would. That's the McHenry and Williams there. We'll lay that one out on the table here in just a moment. But to get to sort of the role that I see this knife best fitting into, a duty knife, a cop's knife, something like that. If you're a cop, law enforcement, this would be a great knife for everyday carry. Again, the rescue capabilities right there, the potential, you know, defensive capabilities in that sense. All the sort of hard work you'd be able to do with that big grip. 154 cm is a great steel, great sort of durable edge to it, good grind all around, great shape, good strong tip it looks like, with something somewhat of a reverse tanto going on at the tip there. So it's kind of a modified drop point, modified reverse tanto, whatever you want to call it. Good design one way or the other, and I like it. The other amazing and really cool feature on it, obviously sort of groundbreaking feature on it, is the ambidextrous push button auto feature right here. So you've got from either side you can release the knife, or what I like to do is just kind of pinch it from both sides. But we'll demonstrate that from this side right here. Pops out just fine, and this side right here also pops out just great. But again, if you just pinch them, it's a little bit easier even. So that's the way I've been doing it for the EDC use that I've put it through, and I like it quite a lot. But that is quite a cool new feature from Benchmade. I've not seen that on any knives to this date from any other manufacturer. So an ambidextrous push button auto is a really unusual and really cool thing. That alone makes it somewhat collectible and just something that you might be kind of interested in. But yeah, that's the role I kind of see it in, is definitely an LEO knife, you know, a cop's knife. It would be great in that role, in my opinion. Let's show you a couple other knives that are great in that role, in my opinion. It's getting too much glare, so we're going to send it over this way. Try that. No, still a lot of glare. One of these days I'll figure out how to be a good knife reviewer. Anyway, so there it is. We could lay out some other good knives. There's the Spyderco Endura 4. This one in ZDP 189 also would be a great LEO knife in my opinion. How about this? There's the first production CRKT Foresight from Ken Onion. Nice beefy knife as well. Lots to hold on to there. It's going to get some great work done of all sorts. That would probably be a good law enforcement knife as well. Definitely the McHenry & Williams in D2 steel, G10, and that axis lock, of course. Great knife. Also not cheap, but very, very good quality. I think this one's probably not overlooked, and probably a popular one in my opinion, as a tactical knife and a cop's knife or something like that. Spyderco, Mannix 2, for sure. Yeah, I could definitely see that in that role. Probably the paramilitary 2 as well. We're not going to touch on all the prices here. You can always look them up. A couple others just for size and kind of overall usage comparison that are cheaper in my estimation and from what I've read and what I've seen. There's the Rat Model 1. Great knife. As far as the durability and quality, maybe a bit lower than some of these, but still really good. How about the Code 4 from Cold Steel? This one in CTS XHP has been tested. You will see a review on this one pretty soon. Really thin in pocket, good, decent EDC, I should say, because of that thin profile. It's easy to carry, super lightweight, and that's kind of how it stacks up to the others in size as well. All right, so a lot of great offerings, a lot of great options if you're looking for a knife in this size range. So I would say that the APB from Benchmade has definitely got a lot of competition. Okay, it's definitely got a lot of competition out there. What about in other autos? We'll throw just a few on the table because I don't have a ton of them, but I do love auto knives. So there, once again, is the APB. Here's a really inexpensive auto in the Boker Kalashnikov. This is the full-size version of it. And this is a push-button auto, as you can see there. That's kind of how that one stacks up. It's, again, lighter weight, smaller, probably not as durable, not as high quality for sure, but very, very affordable. Here's a newer one. Seen this one before? The Kershaw. Which one is this called? Kershaw Auto something or other. Anyway, CPM 154. There's the model number on it. In OD and black. Could not stop myself from picking that one up. Isn't it a beauty? It's a really attractive knife. Good in hand. Haven't put it through the extended testing that I need to, but that one's coming up. But that's a really, really good one. And here is my current favorite auto of all of them. Check that sucker out. You guys seen this one in the video yet? I can't remember if I've shown it to you. But this one is the new Benchmade 4300 CLA composite light auto G10 and 154 cm deep carry pocket clip on it. Fantastic knife. Absolutely love this one. This is the one that I definitely fell in love with at the Benchmade booth. Bought it on my own because I just loved it so much. So there it is. And that's kind of just a handful of other great autos that are out there. There are far, far more, obviously. I won't mention all the brands that are out there, but there's tons of them. Tons that I'm interested in, tons that I'm not so interested in. Overall, I think autos are lots and lots of fun. When I get a good quality one in hand, I like them better than most manual knives. There's some that I definitely prefer over other autos, but for the most part, an auto in hand is awesome. I love them. And that is the Benchmade ambidextrous push-button auto. A durable, powerful, tough knife that's going to be great in hand for hard work. Again, I think it's great in the role of law enforcement. If you like larger EDC knives as well, you'll love this as just a civilian's everyday carry. Definitely assuming that it fits into, matches your local laws, and that you can carry an auto, you can buy an auto, you can own one, you can carry a knife of this size, etc., etc. And hopefully you can. Hopefully you can. Well, there you go, guys. That's my review of the Benchmade 6800 APB. Thanks very much for watching. We'll see you guys on the next one.
Very valid point for having an auto knife. I mean, having that thing immediately deployed and ready to go into action, whether that be some sort of an emergency action or simply getting some utility tasks done and then getting back to whatever it was you're doing. There are so many reasons to have a nice little auto knife.